Well, the day has finally arrived, Seminole fans. We are live here at the Rose Bowl alongside Lane Hurt. I'm Scott Kodak. Welcome to Seminoles.com's complete continuing coverage of the 2014 Vizio BCS National Championship game. Lane, when you come up today, there's a certain aura about this place. You can tell Florida State's never been here. They're excited to be here, but how do you maintain the emotions? How do you come out and flat out forget about where you are, play your football game?
That is the big question early in the game for both teams. Both teams would be absolutely lying if there weren't jitters, if they weren't absolutely amped up for this game. They haven't played football in about 35, 36 days. It's the biggest stage of them all, Pasadena Rose Bowl National Championship game. Let's see who handles that best, especially early in the game.
Such a historic moment for a stadium Florida State's never really played in. This is the first national title game since that 2001 game down in the Orange Bowl against Oklahoma. Let's get right down to the game itself. When you talk about Auburn, needless to say, it's that running attack. Probably the best that the Seminoles have seen really all season. Obviously, you're in a national championship game, so you're going to see the best there is. Trey Mason is that guy. He's had 22 touchdowns on the year. Nick Marshall, their quarterback, also has run for 11 himself. To me, that key is neutralizing Trey Mason. Should the Seminoles be able to do that, that changes all that Auburn can do.
Absolutely, Scott. Auburn didn't try to make any secrets out of what they want to do. They're not going to change their game plan. They're not going to switch things up just for the national championship game. They're going to run the ball. They're going to try to get the ball to Trey Mason in space, Nick Marshall on the option runs, and then they're going to try to get deep on play action passes to Sammy Coates and their other wide receivers. That's what Auburn's going to do, and it's up to Florida State to line up and stop it.
And frankly, the one thing Auburn probably hasn't seen all year, Lane, is the secondary the Seminoles are going to throw at the Tigers. You talk about guys like Lamarcus Joyner and Terrence Brooks. They're going to play their final game in the Garnet and Gold. They don't want to leave this field feeling like Auburn beat them way down deep in the field.
No, and really the key about that may not even be in the passing attack, but just how well those guys tackle in space. Brooks, Joyner, Darby, PJ Williams, all season long, they've made a lot of key tackles that have stopped big gains and turned 9-10-yard gains to 1 or 2 yards. And if they can do that, especially for Joyner and Brooks in their final game, they're going to be hoisting a crystal ball at the end.
Well, that would be such a great moment. Hopefully we'll experience that in the game. Lane, let's switch gears a little bit, talk about Florida State's offense. Obviously, Jameis Winston, the Heisman Trophy winner, the Davey O'Brien Award winner, ACC Player of the Year. We could go on and on for about an hour about everything Jameis Winston has done, but this is a stage he hasn't seen yet. This is something he hasn't really been a part of, and if we know anything about Jameis Winston, it is his birthday today. Happy birthday, Jameis, if you're watching this, by the way. This is an opportunity for him to really kind of put a stamp on maybe the best season in Florida State history.
Yeah, and you know what? Not every Heisman Trophy winner has handled the spotlight well. Some guys have struggled when they've gotten to their bowl game or the national championship game, if that's where they ended up. How will Jameis handle all of that, all of the attention he's gotten over the last month? Well, if you look at him at the start of the season, starting his first game after taking a whole year off of football because of redshirting, he came out and only had 2 incomplete passes. He has handled every situation perfectly so far this year, and you'd think it would be the same. And you forgot one thing. Happy birthday, Josue Matias and Eddie Goldman as well.
We'd also like to wish a happy birthday to our outstanding coaches video guy, Kevin Godowry. I know you're watching this. Happy birthday, buddy. Let's also talk about Florida State's running game. For as much kind of hoopla as Auburn's game gets, Florida State's is pretty dominant. You got 3 guys in Williams, Freeman, and Wilder Jr. that really can kind of compete with anybody in the country in the backfield.
Yeah, it's kind of the secret weapon, I think, because so much attention goes to those three wide receivers, Nick O'Leary, what Jameis has been able to do to transform this passing attack. But those guys all season long have played so well. Devontae, if he has a big game, it doesn't even have to be a really big game. He gets that 1,000-yard season that hasn't been done since Warwick Dunn was here. I would expect maybe to calm some nerves a little bit. They may actually try to get the running game going early.
Well, let's talk about keys to the game. For me, there are 2 to Florida State winning this national championship. It'd be just the 3rd in school history. Obviously, we're anxiously awaiting that moment should it happen today. But for me, Lane, there are 2 things. One, Jameis Winston does not turn the ball over, and if Florida State not stop can just neutralize Trey Mason, that changes everything that Auburn does. If they can get in the backfield, if guys like Telvin Smith, Terrence Smith get penetration into the backfield, if Timmy Jernigan does what he does, and frankly, if Jameis Winston just doesn't throw picks or fumble the ball, Florida State's going to win this game.
Yeah, the turnovers is the big one to me. I mean, that's what kills teams. They come out. Florida State's dominated all season long, 28 more points, and they break the FBS record for points in the season. So what they have to do is just not turn the ball over. And on defense, I think, stemming from what you said, get Auburn in 3rd and long situations. Auburn has not been passing the ball very well at all this season. I think Marshall averages less than 150 yards passing a game. So if they can get them in 3rd and long and unleash that pass rush, Auburn could be in some trouble.
Just a few short hours away from kickoff here at the Rose Bowl. We'll have great coverage on Seminoles.com pregame video. video, of course, you're watching now, during game content, and the best post-game coverage of Florida State football you can find anywhere on the internet. It's the 2014 Vizio BCS National Championship game. What a fun season it's been so far. Let's hope we finish it with a crystal football on Monday night. For Lane Hurt, I'm Scott Kodak saying go Noles, and we'll see you after the game.